Then came a fit of coughing, after which, in a hoarse voice which betrayed something of the agitation through which he had passed, but was comparatively calm, he said, "I suppose I can go now. I have entrusted my secret to my enemy. I have delivered myself into your hands. You can do with me as you will. There is nothing more that I could have done." And he crossed himself piously 3 times. I could not find words with which to answer him. He sat, or rather crouched, like a man whom 1,000 furious winds threatened to dismember. A great pity welled up in me. I did not know what it was that actually ailed him, the identity or name of his sickness, but his words had unveiled for me the boundless depths to which he consigned himself when he lay down to sleep at night, the torments which crushed and strangled his soul. I tried to say something, but the words died on my lips. It was as if a physical seal had been laid on my mouth. I was silent in my compassion. It was he who released me, for he suddenly seized my hand, clung to it, and exclaimed, "We have made a pact today, you and I. We are bound to each other by the common possession of the secret I have just entrusted to you. Now we can never again be separated, for we belong to each other. You are the only living man to whom I have felt it necessary to uncover my oppressed soul." "Pan Wiadomski, be calm. This is self-delusion. When you awaken, you will regret having admitted to a stranger to the secrecy of your self-created fantasies. Quieten yourself. You are feverish. I can feel it in your hand. Come, I will put you to sleep in my bed. I will cover you well." And as I spoke, I looked around in embarrassment, seeking something that might serve as a cover. "Here, I will pour another glass of tea for you. You will warm up and forget everything." But Pan Wiadomski still clung to my hand. "What will I forget? That which I am? That which is the purpose of my life? That to which destiny has consigned me? Do you indeed believe that all you have just heard from me is a wild and empty imagining? Self-created fantasies was what you said. Can you not see that this is my veritable life? I brood on it every waking moment of the day. It is my outward life which is false, a perpetual mask. The other life, the one I lived over there, is the true and eternal one. It is with me the instant I am alone. I hear the voices of that time calling me. At night, lying in the sleepless hell which is my bed, I am transformed into the reality of my person, and I live endlessly through the life which was mine. Then I am once again in the ancient cities. I pace their streets. I encounter the faces of old. What is it you want me to forget? My lifelong studies, the papers I have written, the research journeys I have made, the dangers which I have confronted, all the discoveries of unsuspected sources, the eternal ransacking of old books? Why do I pass day after day in the libraries? Why do I shut myself off from the light of day and the faces of men? And why have I confided in you, a Jew, my enemy? In order that I might forget? You are a part of that secret. You were with me in that time. When I look at your face, I remember everything. You are, like myself, the ever-enduring person among these creatures of a moment which crawl like insects about the streets. Today they are here, tomorrow they will be wiped out. Who will know of them 50, 25 years from now? But you and I are eternal, eternal in the flying whirlwind of dust, because we were together in that time, and we live in all times, in all eternities. I let him talk himself out, for it seemed to me that this was what he needed, to empty himself of all that had gathered in him during these last days, or, who knew, during all the days and all the sleepless nights of his life. I remained silent. "You are silent, Yochanan?" he said, looking at me. "What shall I answer, Pan Wiadomski? Why do you call me by that false name? For you I am Cornelius, Syriac of the Antonia in Jerusalem. So be it, Cornelius, but later you will regret it." "What will I regret? Before you there is nothing for me to regret. You and I are not of the life of today, but of the life of the past. In that far-off time there were not yet born the circumstances and prohibitions of this age, which move us to shame, which make us choose between denial and admission, and therefore create regret. You are my contemporary, you are of my family, and even more than that, you are my only companion soul. For the rest of the world, for all other men, I wear a mask. For you, I am myself. From you I have nothing to hide. You and I are the only ones who have passed without loss through the sea of forgetfulness. That is why I have sought you all my life. That is why, meeting you, I entrusted my secret to you. That is why I will uncover to you all that is hidden in me, all that must remain unuttered before the rest of the world. I will uncover, and you will write down every word, every detail, for it is only through you that I become holy myself. Only when I meet with you do I become truly timeless. That is why I am drawn to you and cannot release myself from you. I must always have you about me, and if I cannot love you, I must hate you, for without you I am dust. Without you I am the pitiful Pan Wiadomski of today, crushed under a burden of sin. Then I am ashamed of Cornelius. The thought of him in me lashes me with the whip of conscience, lies on me like a millstone. But through you and in you I acquire a meaning. I am filled then with the assurance that what I did I had to do. Duty dictated it. Through you and in you I become proud to be what I am, the true Cornelius. Speak! Who am I? Who stands before you? Do you recognize me? Certainly I recognize you, Cornelius, the hegemon Cornelius, commander of the Antonia fortress, before whom Jerusalem trembles like a leaf. When he passes at the head of his cohort through the court of the Gentiles in the temple, the crowd hides from him in terror. These words, it seemed, calmed him more than every other device I had tried. They affected him like an opium injection into the veins of one frantic for nicotine. He took his seat again in the chair near the stove, exhausted, but relaxed and relieved. But now, I said, come, I will lay you in my bed. I will make you a glass of tea. Or perhaps I'd better go down and get you a piece of the Jewish white bread you like so much. Not before you have sworn to me by the holy vestments of the high priest, as the Jews were wont to do in Jerusalem. What shall I swear to you by the holy vestments of the high priest? That you will come to me every evening and take down in writing what I have to tell you. You will inscribe, word by word and letter by letter, the things that happened in those days. You will set them down as they were, illumined by no other light, no other age, and no interpretation added by mankind to those events. There are many truths, and all truths have verity in them. Truth is flung into the heart by 1,000 means, by the sword and the word, by tradition and faith. Only that truth is the real one which is anchored in its time, in the temporal vitals of its being. We, too, must rise clear out of that ocean of accepted truths which seek to pull us along in the currents of their time justification. We must strike back to the first beginnings of which you and I were the witnesses. You, too. I know you again, Yochanan. I have taken hold of you. This time you will not escape from me. And as once before he held his clenched fist at me. And we will set down once more the record of men and events as they are forever inscribed in the tablets of our souls. All of them, as they return to me in the nights, my old friends, my old enemies. No, not old, but of today, eternal, veritable, unchanged. Do you promise it to me, Yochanan? And he clung to my hand as if he would never release it. Yes, Cornelius, I promise it, and I make an oath by the holy vestments of the high priest. Pan Wiadomski uttered a deep sigh. But now, I continued, I believe it would be best to see you home. You need rest, and I will come to you tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, but this very day. I will expect you this evening. For you remember the little proverb current among you in Jerusalem, the time is short, the work is great. So be it, Hegemon. Your will shall be done.